What's up, guys? Chris over here at Cover 7. Real quickly, just want to say thank you to everyone who's liked, commented, and subscribed to the channel. Again, I can't tell you guys how far that goes on a small channel like mine. I feel like I got to bring this up each and every video these days. I don't claim to be a college football expert, analyst, or insider. I do happen to love college football, though. The Huskers happen to be my favorite team. I don't hide it. I know they're dog shit. That's why I'm talking about these good teams today. And if you're new to this type of channel, guys, I like to break down both teams, some stats, some rankings, and then at the end, I'll give my prediction. These videos usually do quite well. I've been on a little bit of a hot streak lately. And if you really want to help the channel out, man, give this a thumbs up. It's completely free. It takes 2 seconds. So one thing I will say, I cover a lot of football. The SEC fan base, man, is definitely the most knowledgeable out of any of the conferences I cover. And 99.9% of the time, a lot of y'all are just great people, so I truly, truly appreciate that. So let's start with the road team here in Texas. And look, I know they're catching a touchdown here. The over-under set to 48.5, so relatively a low-scoring game is what Vegas thinks. But both these teams are pretty good teams. They're pretty hot right now. They've won a lot of games in a row, both teams. Texas sitting 7-2 on the year. The only losses was Ohio State week 1, which seems like forever ago, and then that head-scratching loss to Florida in week 5. Now they're winners of 4 straight, like I mentioned. Huge win 2 weeks ago versus Vandy, though. Texas was up, though, 34-10. I watched a majority of that game. They let Vandy back in it in the fourth quarter where they scored 21, but wasn't enough for Vandy. Obviously, Texas won the football game, and I thought it was one of the better games Arch Manning played. Let's talk about him for a second. I know everybody was shitting on him earlier in the season, the first, first month and a half or whatever, but he has been playing better. He was 25 of 33, 328 yards and 3 touchdowns versus Vandy. So not bad there. I think he's a capable quarterback. I don't think he'll ever live up to the hype, unfortunately. That necessarily wasn't his fault. That was kind of the last name thing and people on the internet like myself and the national pundits and people like that. But I don't think he's a terrible quarterback by any means. One area Texas has struggled, though, this year, and it's been inconsistent as hell, has been the running game. Contravian Wisner, CJ Baxter. I think these guys are decent backs, but for whatever reason, man, they ranked 12th in the SEC in rushing yards per game, which is really not normal for a Texas Steve Sarkisian-led team. The wide receiver core, man, they're getting better as well. Ryan Wingo, who I think is really, really freaking good, is going to be playing on Sundays. He sits 13th in the SEC in receiving yards per game. Emmett Mosley, DeAndre Moore, these guys are solid players as well. Parker Livingstone, he's reliable. Like I said, so pretty good core there as far as pass catchers go for the Longhorns. As far as the ranks go on offense this season, Texas ranks 71st in total offense, 95th, though, in rushing offense, which isn't great. They're 49th in passing offense. They're 78th in sacks allowed. They've only given up 18 on the year, Texas also averaged just under 30 points per game, which is about middle of the pack as far as the country goes. Let's talk about the defense here. It is pretty good this season. They sit 22nd in total defense. They are amazing against the run, which is what UGA does really well. Texas actually sits number 2 in the country versus the run. Here's the problem, though. On the flip side, they sit 94th versus the pass. They've really struggled to stop teams through the air, something I think UGA and Gunnar Stockton can exploit here. But if you can't cover someone in the secondary, you guys know this, you better be able to get after the quarterback. Texas does it better than anybody, man. They got 34 sacks on the year. That's number 1 in the country right now, so very impressive there. All right, let's talk about the Bulldogs here. They are 8-1 on the year. I covered them a ton on this channel. Only loss was to Bama way back in week 4 by 3 points. It was a hell of a football game. They've won 5 straight now, and they're coming off probably their best win against Mississippi State where they've blown them out. 41-21. Of course, Mississippi State scores first in the game. I thought it was going to be maybe one of those close football games. No, UGA absolutely dominated and destroyed them from start to finish there. So let's talk about Gunnar Stockton, man. He's quietly having a pretty damn good season throwing the football. He sits 9th in the SEC in passing yards. Two total touchdowns on the year, though, combined. So the kick and run the football. Nate Frazier, Chauncey Bowen, are the two go-to backs here for the Bulldogs. Combined, they have over 1,000 yards, 9 touchdowns. Again, you got to throw Stockton in the mix as well. He can really run the football on the year. So The wide receiver group, this is way better than it was last year. I love Zachariah Branch. I thought this was amazing. God, I cannot talk today. I apologize. This was an amazing pickup for the Bulldogs. They got him from USC. This kid has been electric. He's got over 500 yards on the year, 3 touchdowns, and he is definitely by far and away the go-to target for Stockton, although he can spread it around. Colby Young is a damn good wide receiver, possession receiver. I like him as well. As far as the ranks go here for UGA, they sit 32nd in the country in total offense. They are 24th in rushing offense, 58th in passing offense, and they're great in pass pro here. They've only given up 11 sacks on the year, so the O-line looks good this season. By the way, they are 23rd in the country in sacks given up, so really good there. Defensively, I know a lot of people are shitting on the UGA defense this year. I do think they're getting better. I'll go through the ranks here real quickly. They rank 20th best in the country in total defense, guys. They're 12th versus the run. That's great. They're 58th versus the pass. And I think, like I said, I think they've gotten a little bit better as, the weeks have gone on. Like I said, here's the problem, though, with UGA. They don't sack the quarterback. I know they had a couple last week or whatever against Mississippi State, so that helps us out. But right now, they're still 119th in the country with only 11 sacks on the year. They don't get to the quarterback. I know that's odd for a Kirby Smart defense. But get this, though, and this one, I did dig into this a little bit. UGA is 17th best in the country in red zone defense. They're only behind Bama in the SEC there. So, like I said, you might be able to move the ball a little bit on UGA between the 20s. We've seen that. Ole Miss did put up some points against UGA. Ole Miss has one of the better offenses in the country. But, man, they are really stingy inside the red zone, so pretty impressive there for the Bulldogs. As far as my prediction goes and why you guys probably clicked on the video here, I think this is going to be a really good football game. I know that sounds super square, but I really do. Obviously, UGA won these 2 games last year. They beat Texas in the SEC title game. They were both pretty damn good games. I'm taking Georgia in this game for one reason only. They're at home, right? Like I said, I like the momentum that the Longhorns have. I think this is a really tough spot on the road, though, in Athens for the Longhorns. And what it really comes down to for me personally, and like I said, I'm just an idiot on the internet here, but I have more questions about Texas's offense than I do UGA's. UGA's ability to run the football more consistently here is why I give the edge to Georgia. Like I said, and not only that, they are in Athens. So give me the Bulldogs here. I have Texas 21, UGA 24 in a super close one. Let me know down in the comments what you guys think, guys, and I appreciate all the support. We'll see you next time.